wreck, and his back was really crushed. But he came back and body banned the Holyfield after that, and several fights since then. So let's see the fluidity of movement for Joseph Parker here against the big Caribbean Tank Williams. Sherman Williams in the black with the colors of the Bahamian flag, gold and blue. Joseph, of course, in the black and gold, much taller guy. I don't need to tell you in New Zealand who Joseph Parker is.
Going to work with that jab early. Notice he's drifting away to his right, away from the right hand of Sherman Williams. Faking as well, just seeing if he can garner a reaction.
Well, he wants to get angles and he wants to get into a position where he can bang the body of Williams. Williams' body type, it's not that he's not in condition, it's just his body type. He's always been built like this, a little bit loose around the middle. You expect to see a guy really cut, but guys like Tony Tucker and Tony Tubbs were built the same way, and they were heavyweight champions of the world, especially Tony Tubbs was more built like that than Tony Tucker.
Notice Parker too with his jab. He's not jabbing to the head, he's jabbing to the shoulder, he's jabbing to the chest of the Tank. That's enough to put him off balance.
One thing you have to be careful with the guy with a neck as strong and kind of a big cranium is you don't hurt your hands banging the back of that head at the top of the head, and that can happen with a shorter fighter. And of course, he's very aware that he doesn't want the Tank to get in on him and get that head bouncing around like he did against Evander. So Joseph doing a nice job with that lethal weapon. And if there's any question if his left shoulder is okay, it's certainly okay because he's got a piston line going. Since he met Larry Holmes in Pennsylvania, Larry talked to him about the jab and what a weapon the jab is, and Joseph has got that.
Showing some good variety too. He's just turning it over into a long left hook occasionally as well, or he throws the thumb up jab just to change the angle. And again, notice he's drifting right.
Hasn't really been able to get to the body and hasn't really touched him up with the jab yet, but he's positioning himself. That jab he caught him with solidly.
And Tank Williams, he's dropping downstairs with his left hand, looking for the overhand. That's probing. It'll come at different paces.
He'll throw that overhand right and try to drop it on top of that left shoulder. Joseph to test it if he possibly can. Tank Williams to the left of your screen. Joseph, of course, to the right. Brad Vocali, the third man in the ring, one of the best referees in the business. Clear the difference in hand speed between Tank Williams and Joseph Parker.
Tank's also waiting for that right hand.
There's the first big right hand thrown by Joseph, and he catches a piece of Tank. Sherman Williams with his back sort of to you right now. Joseph taking his time here, doing all of the scoring. Very little scoring done by Sherman Williams here in round one.
Notice that Joseph's just throwing a little left hook when he leans backwards. Ghosts out of range, throws that left hook just enough to dissuade Williams from coming in. Lock that one away for the hometown boy.
10-9 for Parker there in the first round. Kevin Barry, his brother Brian, and his son Taylor all work the corner. Taylor's 19 years old and is working with his dad now and working to train fighters and learning the trade.
This guy's right there for it. Okay? Also, when you're working off that jab, that shoulder jab, that left hook right hand, it's right there for you with him. Okay?
Kevin asking for more right hands now.
It's interesting, throw the left hook off the jab. When he drifts to his right, throw that long left hook to set up the right hand.
Cross away, Gus Curran.
Remember, end it with that hook. Hit him to the body every time you can, okay? Good, champ. Keep doing what you're doing, all right?
Pretty clear what they're calling for in Tank's corner. Jabbing to the body, looking for that opportunity to bowl over the top.
So far, he hasn't been able to get close enough to Joseph to do that. This is round number 2, scheduled for 10 here at the Trust Arena in Auckland, New Zealand. Joseph Parker to the right of your screen, the undefeated champion from New Zealand, the New Zealand champ, the Oriental champion. Ranked number 14 in the WBO, number 11 recently in the WBA, which is part of this Oriental Pacific title that he holds, and that's why the ranking's so high.
Lots of probing from both fighters, looking for the feint, looking for movement that'll give him an opening.
Still looking for the big right hand to be thrown by Tank Williams. Sherman finally throws to the body of Joseph. Joseph leans down on the head and pushes it back, and you immediately hear Brad Vocali say, don't push his head down. Joseph really got a nice sweat up now, as has Tank.
It was in that first round. They were both pretty cold. It was quite a long time in between entrances. There's that left hook right hand that Kevin Barry called for.
That's the first right hand. It didn't really clip him solidly, but he got the idea of what he wants to do. That one caught him pretty good.
Took that right hand to the body.
There's the overhand right that we've been looking for. And his Tank was opening up finally. And he caught Joseph with a decent right hand in the middle there.
Right on that clinch, Joseph just got stiffened up for a moment there.
Now, he gets surprised by that shot. But that's the way Tank will fight. He'll fight in spurts. I mean, this is a very experienced veteran fighter. And why, you know, he's dangerous.
And he ate a right hand of his own there. And Tank held on himself. I think they just got a taste of the power of Parker back.
Yeah, he did for sure, because it kind of stiffened out his legs. Joseph missed that one standing over the head. Set up in front of him, just a little anxious right now as he goes to the left hook.
Parker needs to get back onto his game plan.
And there's the double jab.
A brawl.
Yeah, there he goes with the double jab. Nice straight right hand right in the forehead. This guy is really going to be tough to knock out. But Joseph has a lot of power, and it comes from the hand speed that he has. And, of course, his size. This kid's still growing. You know, 6'4", weighing about, in pounds, about 200, oh, I guess around 28 to 30 pounds. Look at this. That Tank with a nice uppercut. Right hand caught him, kind of staggered the legs of Sherman Williams.
You saw the eyes open up for a moment. Well, he knows this young kid's got some pop now. He woke a little bit of the sleeping giant when he landed that right hand earlier in the round.
Caught him with another right hand up behind the ear. Closing seconds of the second round.
Interesting. Tank's also using the left hook to set up that overhand right as well.
Well, the only flurry that Williams had was that one shot that he caught him with, but other than that, Joseph just outboxed him for the entire 3 minutes of that fight, of that round, rather.
And very, very close to wobbling him on a couple of occasions. It was the right hand that initially sent him into the corner and encouraged him into action. Beautiful camera work. That right hand there from Joseph Parker.
Now listen, the right hand, he's shooting that, you get right under it perfectly, just like in the gym, come right underneath that left hook. Okay, right hook, left hook, okay? I feel it. Good? You hurt this kid. Hurt him already. Okay, let's hurt him.
You're looking to load up.
Huh?
You're looking to jump in and load up.
Yeah, that's what it's getting to with the jab. That's right, perfect. Good, my man.
Well, they've clearly got a game plan. Question is whether Tank Williams is quick enough to go under the right hand.
Well, that's a problem, because he doesn't have anywhere near the quickness of Joseph, but he does have power. And he's had power throughout his career.
Well, you combine power and a good chin and experience, he will remain dangerous throughout this bout.
And you remember early in his career, in his first about 15 fights, he had, I think, 12 first and second round knockouts, so kind of similar to Joseph Parker as a youngster. But Parker has more ability than Tank. They're comparing Tank Williams to like Mike Tyson when he first came along, but then when he moved up in class, he really, you know, didn't beat the big guys that he should have beat. Robert Helenius comes to mind from Finland, but of course that fight was in Europe, and that's tough. Nice left hand by Joseph. Missed the right hand, grazed the nose, but got the attention of Sherman. Uppercut, right hand, and Sherman has to hang on in round 3.
Just the pure hand speed of Parker then. He chose his moment when to come in with that uppercut.
Look at the legs right now of Sherman. He's really kind of heavy in the thighs and the heels right now after that shot. Joseph trying to work down the body. He's getting nice angles. Really let the right hand go. He just hasn't quite got him yet with it. Tap, tap, tap with the left hand, trying to get between the legs of the Tank. And get him a bit low.
Accident? No. Come on. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's a little bit harsh from Brad McCulley there, really.
Yeah.
Could have waited a little while for that one. But there's a bit of life in the old dog there. That left hook, that long left hook he can throw so quickly, particularly against a shorter fighter like Williams.
He's got off that right hand again. He's hit him with 3 solid right hands and hasn't been able to shift them. So he goes back downstairs to the body, and that's what he needs to do more of. Soften up that big body a little bit more and then come back upstairs. You don't want to try and take this guy out with 1 punch upstairs. It won't happen. He's doing a nice job out boxing him. He's got the jab in his face. He's following up with that left hook you just saw there. Now he's looking to throw the right hand as he taps with the left. And the right hand either upstairs, right there. 3-4 punch combination and 3 landed hard. Right hand, solid shot. He gets stepped on, and that's the only reason why Joseph stopped throwing punches there. That was a nice series of punches thrown by Joseph Parker.
The hand speed is what's impressive, and he's just getting out of dodge before Williams has an opportunity to counter back. But you can see why the Tank has never been stopped. He's got a clean pair of whiskers.
And when you talk about the hand speed, Mike, it's so important because when I think of the top 10 heavyweights, he has got, I can't think of anybody in the heavyweight division that's got faster hands. There might be some guys that have good hand speed, but not any faster than Joseph. And these are things we have to look forward to in his next 10 fights. Wow, with the right hand goes Tank. Back upstairs to the left. Now he tries to make it a brawl, and Joseph ties him up. After the belly cut, Joseph behind the head. Kevin Barry has words.
Well, we've got to be very careful here. Corners coming into the ring.
No
Luckily
need
it
for
came
that.
after the well.
But Kevin's going to protect his fighter.
It's an old boy. I'm just trying to...
And that was a bit of gamesmanship from the Tank. He was pushing the envelope and letting the boy know he was there.
Keep it up.
That lady that just showed you was his wife, Kimberly. That's the wife of Sherman Williams.
And that was the hand speed there of Parker. And you can see when he does get inside, he is able to do some work, and that was the late call there that forced Brad Vicali to get in. Frustration from the Tank, Sherman Williams.
All right, we go to round number 4. Frustration from the Tank, and now Brad has a chat with them both and says, okay, let's fight. Joseph to the right, Sherman to the left of your screen. This is round 4.
Well, the Coliseum that is Trust Arena, the partisan New Zealand crowd has certainly come to life. I noticed what Williams is trying to do. He's trying to come in off the jab when he takes it on the gloves. That's where he's trying to find, when he feels Parker touch him with single shots, he's trying to come in off that.
Well, that's what he's got to do. He's got to try and hook the guy. Really nice body shot underneath the right elbow of Sherman Williams. That hurt him a little bit, too, underneath that elbow.
Well, there's plenty of body down there, and it was well set up. Just the pure speed off the jab.
And that's what Kevin Barry told me that he wants to do, is try to keep Joseph getting these angles. Keep touching him with the jab. Always get a piece of him. And then go hard to the body downstairs and then back up in your combinations. That's what he's setting up right now. Williams loads up that right hand, and that's why he's dangerous.
Yeah, and again, he set that up with that left hook to the body. It's obviously something he's working on. He ate that right hand.
Solid
And another
right
one.
hand, 3 or 4 right hands in a row, and he goes down. That's a slip. That's a slip. Joseph sort of pushed him down with that. Brad Vicali right on top of that one. Round 4 continues halfway through it. A lot of pressure put on him that time by Joseph Parker.
Here comes the
Joseph sets up
overhand right.
in front of him now.
He's propping himself for that big right hand over the top.
Goes to the body again. This is textbook what really they worked on in the gym, is trying to work downstairs and really bang that body, and he's done it hard. That brings the hands down, and then he'll go back upstairs. Joseph is really, really thinking in this fight, and that's good for heavyweight. Not being forced out of his fight plan by Big Tank Williams.
Working his angles well, too. Shifts to the right and then comes back with the left hook.
And that's what it's all about, Mike, as you well know. Monty Beetham will tell you the angles. The dangerous right hand. Joseph was able to gobble it up because it just glanced off him. Joseph comes right back. Slim knee shots now. The uppercut. And again, Tank Williams has to hang on. He felt the power of Joseph Parker's speed.
Turn your back, right cleanly. Come on.
36 seconds to go, and it's the 4th round. It's getting interesting.
Savvy work from the Tank Williams. He has a glimmer of hope, and Parker just takes it away from him again.
Yeah, every time that Tank seems to do something well, Joseph gets an adrenaline flow. There's a solid right hand, left side of the head of Tank, and he has to hang on again. He's hurting him with these shots.
And those are great punch options. You notice he's curling the right hand in as Tank's leaning into it. He's not showing him the same right hand each time. It's great variation from Parker.
See that left hand down now. The bell ends round 4. That's another Parker round. So far, so good for Joseph Parker. He's won them all.
Oh, shut out very nearly. Could have been a 10-8 round if he had secured an 8 count.
I said to you before, that straight right hand is there, throw it to the body, John. It's no different from what we've done in this gym 100 times.
Jim again, throw it to the body.
Too long with your jab. Okay, even if you hold this one out here, explode it, give me those 2 body shots. The straight right, the left rip, the overhand. We do it all the time in the gym. Okay?
Often that's a confidence thing too when you're going downstairs to the body of a shorter man.
I want to feel it up.
He's looking to see it transferred from the gym.
Okay, get it up a little higher. Be first. Do not let him and don't stand in front of him. Keep walking around him. Now you get body shots this round. Nothing to
See, Kevin's smart. He leaves 2 things for him to say. Walk around him and body shots. That's all that's in the kid's mind now. That's all he has to do.
Experienced corner too. Simple instructions, easy to follow.
All right, here we go. This is round 5. The Colonel Bob Sheridan, Mike Angove, and our entire staff here at Sky. Glad that you can be with us wherever you're watching around the country, around the world, over in Australia. Joseph Parker, the pride of New Zealand right now in heavyweight boxing, making his seen as the up-and-comer in Ring Magazine this month, by the way. Joseph Parker. As he gets his number 11 ranking by the WBA, he's getting the attention of the world now a little bit.
Well, you've got to say, forget the rankings for a moment because those can be manipulated, but when you're in the Ring Magazine, nicely hooked right hand, someone is taking notice, and that's a chopping right hand. The Tank is a little like a tree right now. He's in the process of being chopped down.
And again, Kevin wants him to go to the body. Kevin Barry, I'm talking about the trainer of Joseph Parker, and there he is. And that's what he wants him to do. And Joseph trying to execute that for his trainer, who he has total faith in.
He's starting to get a reaction too from those fakes. His speed is bothering Williams, and he's starting to react, which is going to open up more gaps for him.
Solid body shot landed that time by Sherman. And again, Brad is called timeout. He might take a point away here.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a point.
That's the 2nd time you're not listening to me. There won't be a 3rd time. Do you understand that? I'm the fair referee. I'm going to give you every opportunity. If you're going to break the rules, you're going to penalise them. Do you understand that? Listen to me. Your way or my way? My way's easier. Okay, Joseph, just don't push him down. Don't give him that, right? Okay?
So when you quite break, step back.
Okay. When I say
Kevin
break, you
Barry's
step back.
really
You don't touch.
that point off.
Time in.
All right, Brad takes command. And, you know, with a fighter of this nature where he could get out of hand, as you saw at the end of what was it, the 3rd round there, you want to stay in command.
He's got him reacting to that right hand. See the fake?
Yeah. Remember what Kevin said about moving. Whoa, did he load up that right hand?
That
and he
uppercut.
the uppercut. That's something new in the arsenal of Joseph that's he's developing, is that uppercut. Remember, the uppercut is very good when you land it. It can be dangerous. There he comes again with it, trying to get this shorter guy so he doesn't hurt his hands by hitting him on top of the head. That's by design, you know, Mike, especially for this fight, this opponent.
Come on, your accidents.
It's
Come on,
very, very quick. And it's a nice development because he hasn't gone to the uppercut straight away. He set it up by throwing that overhand right, by throwing the jab.
Tank goes with that overhand right. So far, he hasn't been able to hit that left shoulder of Joseph at all, which I expected to see him do, at least test it. But Joseph has kept him out at the end of his glove with that jab. Even when he doesn't touch him with the jab, he keeps him off while he tries to get something to the body.
Now he's also varying now. He's bringing down that left elbow with the right rip to the body. So quick, he's able to do it with the right hand.
And that's a significant thing about Joseph in comparison to other heavyweights.
Let's fight, not talk. Come on.
They got to say, when an experienced fighter like Williams starts to talk like that, he's being mentally bothered.
Parker really starting to load up some shots here now. And his Tank doing what a 42-year-old fighter will do, and that's another one in the books for Joseph Parker, though. That was all his round.
Well, halfway through the bout, and he's pitching a shutout.
I've got a 50-45, 10-9 every round to this point.
Oh, he's touching your gloves and your shoulders. He ain't touching shit.
Old friend
You know what I mean? So you're touching-
Garrett Belton, the judge sitting next to us, is pretty much in agreement, I think, with us.
Hey, you're touching that wheel, touching that wheel. The right hand, almost right there. Right there, you're finding him. How you feel? You wrote down? One time? Good?
He's an experienced professional. There's no gassing in that corner. He's not breathing heavily.
Yeah, that thing kind of surprises me because they worked hard, the pace has been fast, and he's not breathing very heavy that you would expect for a guy his size.
It's a classic, you know, experienced pro, though. He knows when to react. He knows when to clinch. He walks around behind the referee when he wants a breather.
All right, here we go to the second half of the fight as we move to the 6th round. Joseph Parker to the right of your screen. Sherman Tank Williams from the Bahamas, born in Freeport, lives in Florida in the United States right now.
First time we've seen the jab to the body for a while from Williams. That's something that will work for him. And he's using that left hook to set up the overhand right. It's his rangefinder.
There's a straight right hand that time that was taken on the chin by Tank Williams.
Interesting to see if Parker comes to the left uppercut after that.
Right hand clipped him by the left ear that time. Nice combination. Some of that blocked by the glove. Joseph comes to the uppercut again and then gets out of there. I like the way he comes in and then gets out. Touches.
You see the little subtle head control there too. When he missed with the hook, he just used his left palm, looked to set up that uppercut, push the head down.
You know, people want Joseph to just come in and blast this guy out, but this isn't an experienced fighter, and Joseph is showing a lot of control. And as he gains experience, you heard what Monty Beathan said when he interviewed Kevin Barry earlier this week. That Kevin said this kid's only about 50% there, and I think he's maybe only about 40% there. He's got a long way to go. Remember, this is only his 11th professional fight.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them forget about the rankings for a while and just focus on his development. Once you get inside that top 10, it gets harder and harder to get fighters.
Well, and then for the boys at Duco, you know, for David and Dean to be able to get opponents. Look at this! Joseph lands a good shot. He caught him and staggered him for just a second.
Still patient, though. Still patient. He's not overthrowing himself.
Doesn't lose any control at any time. This fight's going exactly the way they want it. He's not hurting his hands by banging him at the top of the head. Sherman Williams can't get close enough to use his head on Joseph's face, which is paramount. And here's where Joseph's going to watch it, when he's in like here. And he does, he lets Brad Vocali separate the two so that head doesn't get wagging around of Tank Williams. Tank's not known to be a dirty fighter, but, you know, it's just the difference in height. Shorter guys can come up with that head and cause big problems for Parker, who's scheduled to fight again in December in the Fight for Life down in Hamilton.
Nice work there from Parker with that jab to the body. Fake side goes down low. There's very little load on it. So deceptive and frustrating. There's that overhand.
Got caught, and he got caught real good. Now is he going to hang on? Oh, he got nailed again. Joseph dragged a bit into a Pier 6 brawl, and now he wags his legs. And, you know, sometimes that's indicative of the fact that he did get clipped. He's sure to get Joseph's attention. Never seen Joseph do that before.
Well, he's confident, but he's also... You can take that two ways. I think we saw the control and the confidence in a fighter when he has been clipped. We know he's now got a good set of whiskers on him.
That's important to know. You're going to give Williams any round, you give him that round. Because he did hurt him. I know you don't want to do that, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did enough. He got dominated.
I'm not sure either, but he did more than he's done.
Don't play his games. Keep working away to the body. All right? Yeah, that left hook to the head, straight right to the body.
Yeah, in a round where you really saw, for the most part,
I mean, Joseph really controlled the round, as you say, but the hurting blow, which is, now this hurt him. See him fall into the ropes?
it put him back on his heels, and there was that second shot. And you
And the
saw him
third one.
pause just for a moment there. But
Whoa.
the thing that set it up too, Colonel, that left rip to the body, that's clearly what they're going for.
All right, we go to round 7. This is getting a little more interesting now. Joseph Parker powering now with the left hand. And you wonder, did he get hurt a little bit more than maybe we thought by getting those 3 punches? And it's very much out of character when he came out and started wagging his, kind of rubbing his knees together. Not like Joseph, like to show up people.
There it was again. Fakes, shoulder fakes with the left shoulder, then goes to the body with the rip to come with the overhand.
Here's Joseph, comes with the uppercut, the left hand, then the uppercut. Very careful in here. Lets Vocali do his job so he doesn't get clipped by the head or anything else in a break.
And notice too, Parker,
Come on, work out of it.
they've
Come
got
on,
to
punch
be
away.
cautious in there.
Okay,
Parker
break.
very keen to shut it down as soon as they get inside. He's got to be cautious that Williams, who's a crafty pro, doesn't explode out of that. Great
Yeah,
work with the jab.
Because if he does and that head comes up, that's going to mean a cut, and I don't want to see that for Joseph.
Joseph is just missing a little bit with that right hand. Now, I'd like to see him go downstairs a little bit. Just time it once again. Create the opening by dropping the left elbow and then coming back upstairs with the right hand.
This is the 7th round for Joseph, a place he hasn't been in a lot of fights. And he's breathing a little bit heavier than he has at any other time during the fight, trying to get his angles. That's what he wants to do, and try to catch this guy downstairs. Joseph looks a little gassed to me right now at this
Come on,
particular
work out
moment
of
in the
it.
fight.
Come on, do something.
And this is where Tank Williams actually needs to start to come on. He's been here before. And he looked as if he was almost listening to us.
Yeah, well, that's the experience of this seasoned old professional. And Joseph can take it away from him right now if he lands a couple of solid right hands.
But I'd like to see Joseph, rather than engage like this when he's looking a little gassed, just move around, use the jab, collect points.
Now he's up in his toes now. He might have heard you too, Mike. He goes with that right hand and just kind of whistle past the whiskers. Downstairs. Those are hard body shot that time with the right hand to the left side of the body of Tank. But Tank is showing an experience, and Joseph now is, you know, trying to gather a little bit of time, and he's done that by hanging on and then walking away. This is smart stuff with 30 seconds to go in the round. He's done enough to win the round.
Just stay on the bike, keep working.
Solid shot landed with the right hand. He's using a lot of uppercuts tonight, which are successful against his shorter guy. As long as you don't miss, because if you miss, boy, are you exposed when you throw the uppercut. And he commits to his punches, does Joseph.
Notice Joseph walking around again. He's back on the game plan, walking around, changing his angles. And by doing that, he doesn't allow Williams to set his feet.
Okay, I'm not sure that any of the judges would have given the 6th round to Tank Williams, but since it was his best round, I did give him that. But Parker back on his game plan, as you said, for round 7.
Let's get busy like we did the round before that, okay? And get him. Let's get him out of here.
Got him hooks going.
What's up?
When I got inside, I got the hook going.
That's right. That's right.
Break that, break that.
Starting to breathe a little bit more in the corner, Tank Williams.
And you've landed some good belly shots that last round. And if you could see in his face how he slowed down and how hard he was breathing. Keep going to the body for me. Okay?
Kevin keeps going back to the body. To the body.
Well, it's very much like runs in the bank, runs in the bank. The chin, when it's made of granite, you stop the body, the chin starts to come up. And also mentally, it takes it away from a fighter. And there was a noticeable deterioration in Tank Williams between the 6th and 7th round. He was breathing a lot more.
All right, here we go. This is round number 8. The Colonel Bob Sheridan here with Mike Engove and our staff here at Sky Sport. Glad that you can be with us. Joseph Parker to the left of your screen with Parker in the front of his trunks. Tank Williams with his back to you. Joseph's winning almost every round in the fight, if not every round. Wow, with the right hand. That one goes past the nose. Tank tried to throw his right hand back. There's the body shot that Kevin's looking for, and he did feel that. That one glanced off the shoulder. Now the uppercut. He pushes him off, tries to set him up again. He's set up in front of him now. Let's see if he goes with the right hand. He works with the left downstairs.
Yeah, now he's backing up, Tank. He's feeling that.
There's a nice left hook that spins ahead of Tank Williams, and now Tank has to hang on. Joseph controls that head all the time, which is also smart. That's not just, you know, a habit. That's something you learn in the gym to make sure this guy doesn't bang you with that head.
Good controlled work from Parker.
Yeah, and I love that. That's a good word, Mike, controlled. Straight right hand down the middle, bounces off the nose of Sherman Williams. Williams flat-footed right now. Joseph takes advantage by getting the angle, then shooting out that left hand. Circling around to his right now.
Nice work, too, with that left hook, just check hooking nicely. Missing by a good 6 inches with that overhand.
Yeah, Tank actually slipped from his front foot. Otherwise, that could have been a much more dangerous punch. He slipped on the logo that's on the canvas. Luckily for Joseph, that is, and bad luck for Tank Williams.
Joseph's just throwing a little bit more nasty intentions. He's tensing up a little bit. Just like to see him set it up again as he did early in the round. Did great work when he went to the body with the right hand, and then the next shot came up with the uppercut.
Now there's Joseph up on his toes again, moving back and forth, sliding around to his right.
Now this is where he's in danger. He needs to make sure he stays off the ropes.
Now he's done that terrifically throughout the course of the evening. Now he feints, lands a right hand. You know, that right hand would drop a lesser guy that couldn't take a punch like Tank Williams does. He's caught him with, I would say, 5 or 6 solid right hands that hasn't shifted Tank Williams.
I think the thing with Tank too is he knows how to keep that chin down and present you with the top of his pretty large dome there.
Yeah, and that's one place you don't want to hit him, is on top of that head, because his neck is so strong the head won't move and you can hurt your hands very easily. Ah, there's a right hand, a sneaky right hand on the inside.
Come on, they're all good. Let's fight. Come on, brother. Fight.
All right, so Joseph sets up again by circling back to his left. Williams, you look for his right hand instead of Tank takes the right hand from Joseph Parker. Closing seconds now of the 8th round in this fight.
Just pure speed that got that right hand through there. Set it up with the double jab. Showed him a different look at the jab.
That's another good round for Joseph.
Well, 2 rounds.
Well, he's won at least 7 of them, maybe all 8. Who knows?
There's that probing jab, and that right hand that started the 8th round really set up an uppercut which came later. The big, powerful right hand. You can see there Parker using his left hand to control the head.
That's everything on that right hand. Look at that. That would definitely drop, if not knock out, lesser opponents or less experience or less guys with the strength in the neck that this guy, Sherman, the Tank Williams, has.
The thing with these kind of lessons, though, too, Colonel, is what do you do with a guy you can't knock out? What do you do with a guy who's still dangerous? How do you stick to your game plan, and how do you mentally cope with a guy that you're actually getting tired hitting?
Now, that's when you got to be the discipline. That's when all those rounds in the gym count. That's where the conditioning counts. Because it's very hard when you get fatigued to stay focused. So here we go in the 9th round now. This is scheduled for 10, as you know. So far, nobody's been down. Nobody's been really shaken. Tank shaken one time, and Joseph a little bit shaken back there in the 5th round, or was it the 6th round? Yeah, the 6th round. Other than that, no cuts. Fairly clean fight all around.
Parker's just got to watch he doesn't come into range too easily. That's nice work for the body once again.
Upstairs, there's the uppercut, left hook. Now he's got the Tank flattened out his legs. The Tank has to hang on for one of the few times. I think that's only about the 3rd or 4th time in the entire fight that he's had to hang on. Now the left hand is coming down, the right hand is there. Joseph hits him with the right hand, back up with the uppercut, left hand downstairs.
There's no coincidence that he's holding after he's hit to the body.
Now that's why Kevin Barry wanted him, and his fight plan was to work the body. See that arm coming down? The right hand is there, and there it is. And it's still there. Remember, there's a fatigue factor for Joseph, too, because he's expending a lot of energy throwing these heavy blows.
Plenty of craftiness in there from Williams. He slipped the hand up underneath so Parker couldn't punch. That gave him a rest. Enough time when you're a professional fighter and experienced one to just regain some composure.
Straight right hand again, that put him back on his heels. These are hard punches. There's about 7 really hard punches that I think lesser strong guys would be able to stand up against these punches that Joseph is landing. Another solid right hand.
That one he felt, that right hand.
Body shot. He's ready to go. He's on his legs right now.
Come on, stop easy. Come on, let's fight. Come on, I'll talk to you after the fight. Hey, what about that? Let's go.
Brad Vicali, the raise.
He keeps saying, talk after the fight. Joseph trying to dump him. He's on top of him. Needs to bang him to the body again. Tank Williams is actually out on his feet right now. Brad wants him to work out of it.
I don't think it's the KO side of things. I think it's purely gas. It's the body attack that's really doing it for him.
Well, that was the fight plan going in. That's the way you wanted to fight this guy. But mind you, he's hit him with some hellacious shots upstairs too.
Come on, work at it.
And now he's working nicely in the clinch, just punching off the break himself.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to do that. He feints. He wants to load up something heavy. Bangs that big body again. Only 12 seconds, 11 seconds, 10 seconds to go. And this is the 9th round. This is one of the best rounds of the fight for Joseph Parker by far. He'd like to take him out, live up to what he said that he'd knock him out, and do what nobody else has really done.
Well, another 10-9 round. I think in my books it's still a shutout. I think the Colonel's given 1 round to Parker.
Yeah, but I wouldn't argue with the shutout either. I just gave Williams that round because it's the only round that he actually shook up, and that goes way back to the 6th round. But a shutout, I can live with that.
And you see, he's landed some serious shots on the cranium, and those shots are damaging shots from Parker. We know he can punch now. Slapped with the left hook, but the right uppercut was clean. And he's turning over the right hand nicely and right on the button.
That's the punch I said, Mike, at the time. That would knock out most men.
And you've got to say, Tank Williams is the reason he's never been stopped, because Joseph Parker, as we know, can punch with that right hand.
But one thing we found out tonight, too, that we saw Joseph take a couple of hard shots, and while he was, let's say it got his attention, he was able to gobble it up. All right, here we go. This is round number 10, the 10th and final round of this fight. Joseph Parker has won all the rounds. Maybe one round went to Williams back in the 6th, but I'm going to put that in stone. This is the 10th and final round now. Will Joseph try to take him out? You watch, folks.
Every time Parker shifts to his right, he uses the left hook to leave him with the right hand.
Again.
Right on cue.
Top of him. Just as you said it, he did it. Right hand right on the bridge of the nose. Joseph, you know, even at this stage of the fight, still showing extraordinary hand speed. And again, nobody down. Joseph shaking a little bit in that 6th round, and Tank has been shaken a few times during the course of the fight. Joseph totally dominating the boxing in this fight. And that's where you want him to be in his 11th professional fight. Minute gone.
I think the last minute or so is where we'll see Williams issue his last cavalry charge.
I don't think he's got enough left.
Don't talk to me. Fight.
Well, Brad Vicali no longer friends.
Yeah, Brad says, don't talk to me, fight. Joseph Parker again getting the angles, working left and right. A little bit of puffiness by the right cheek of Joseph Parker. That goes back to the 6th round as well.
A little bit of tape come off the left glove of Joseph Parker. It's been used extensively, that left hand, so I'm not surprised.
More than halfway through the final round of this fight. Got him that time up in the shoulder.
Nice work with the jab again. Getting to fake.
Joseph trying to finish strong here now and see if he can possibly take him out. Still getting his angle, staying to the fight plan pretty much. He's totally controlled his fight, and that's what he wanted to do.
Great.
And there's no disgrace in not knocking out Tank Williams.
I don't think he needs to chase the knockout. He's got the win.
He'd like it though, Mike. You know that as a fighter. He wants it. He's got the win. No question about that.
Yeah, he's doing what he's told. He's on his bike. He's working well. Notice he's drifting away from that right hand consistently.
35 seconds to go in the fight now. Down to 30 seconds. Does Tank have one last hurrah? Or will he just let it slide? As he can't win the fight unless he knocks him out. He comes after him and tries to make one last stand. 19 seconds, 18, 17, 16 seconds to go.
15 seconds.
Here's Joseph now, lining up for one big shot downstairs, closing seconds of the fight now. Joseph just backs off. He's got the fight won. This is a smart thing to do right now. And there's the bell. Solid performance for Joseph Parker. Solid.